Hola! Happy Costa Rica week, everybody. Today we are making chicken casado, so let's have a look at our ingredients. First, you're supposed to have 2 ripe plantains. We couldn't get plantains in Litchfield, didn't have them in Hardsburg either. So the other option are green bananas. These were green 2 or 3 days ago when we picked them up, and then life happened, and now we're making this cooking video. So we're gonna make our best with these semi-ripe bananas, but if you have to use bananas, try to use really green ones because you want them to be a little bit more tough because we're gonna fry them. We've got our chicken breast here. 5 ounces of mixed greens. You can really use any kind of salad mix. If you have a head of lettuce, you can just chop up lettuce. It's basically just kind of as like a bedding that you're going to put everything on to make this chicken casado from Costa Rica. We've got cooking oil, broth, any kind of broth, chicken, vegetable, beef, it doesn't matter. So any kind of broth you have, or if you don't have broth, you can just use water. Your rice just won't have quite as much flavor. Salt and pepper. Cilantro. We got this at Aldi's where this package came from, but they also have it at Hardsburg IGA. I checked it out. So you can get in Hardsburg some fresh cilantro, can of black beans, 15 ounces, some extra virgin olive oil. We have smoked paprika in our house, and I didn't want to buy extra paprika, so just use what you have. If you have smoked, that's fine, but the recipe just calls for regular paprika. And then the rice conundrum. So the recipe originally calls for jasmine rice, which is a long, narrow grain. This is what I could get in Hardenberg, this Riceland white rice, and it's called a long grain white rice. It's really similar to the jasmine rice, so we actually have both, but we're going to cook with the white rice. You can see what it looks like with our Hardenberg available ingredients. These are just a little bit longer and a little bit more tender, but we're going to go ahead and use the white rice that was available to us here in town. And then lastly, you've got some optional ingredients for accompaniment. So we've got some avocado here that we're going to use whenever our casado is finished, and we made a pico de gallo. There's a recipe linked in the recipe that's available to you, but it's basically just equal parts of onion and tomato together, a little bit of really finely chopped jalapeno for a little bit of heat, and then some cilantro and lime juice, and that's it.
Okay, now we have our 1 cup of rice. This is a step, this is a pro tip. Put it in a colander, or not a colander, put it in a mesh container, and then rinse it. This rinses out the extra starch, and it will keep it from burning on the bottom of the pan as it's simmering here in a few minutes. Okay, I have rinsed the rice, and now the water has completely run clear through it. I've done just about 2 minutes of rinsing through. Make sure that it's completely clear. That way all the starch is gone from it. Now I'm going to go and take it and put it in my 2 cups of broth, where I'll be transferring it to the oven or to the stove and bringing it to a boil there. I have now rinsed the chicken and I dried it with a paper towel. And now I'm going through and I'm cutting each of the breasts into a small bite-sized pieces. And then we will season them with the salt, the pepper, and the paprika in just a few minutes.
Now we will season our chicken with 2 tablespoons of paprika, a teaspoon of salt, and a half a teaspoon of pepper.
The rice has been boiling now. It took about 11 minutes for it to come from a cold right to a boil. And now I'm going to go ahead and turn it down to simmer for 20 minutes. The most important thing, hear me carefully, do not lift the lid. Do not let anyone lift the lid. The trapped moisture is what's going to cause the rice to cook, and the water will go down, and eventually nothing will be left but the rice. So we're going to set a timer and check in about 20 minutes. Okay, we are 10 minutes into the rice cooking, and as you can see, a lot of the water is gone, but it has still got some water in the bottom, so we have to let it keep going, and I've not taken off the lid.
My cast iron skillet has been heated over medium-high heat, so now I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I'm reckless like that in the kitchen. I just wing it. And we're going to put in a single layer of our chicken. Notice, because there's so much paprika on there, it kind of has a beautiful red color. We want to split all these bite-sized pieces up and make sure they're a single layer in the pan. We don't want them crowded, or else you won't get a nice golden brown crust on them. All right, quick chicken update. We've got our chicken here in the cast iron. I just did a thermometer check. It's been on medium heat for probably about 5 minutes, and some of the biggest pieces were still only about 125 degrees in the center, so we'll let it cook a little bit longer. In the meantime, our rice is finished.
The rice was done in exactly about 18 minutes. So now I can uncover it for the first time, and I've got the cilantro already chopped. When you're doing the cilantro, go ahead and pull the leaves from the stem and then chop them up and then just mix it into your rice. Can you get a look at this, Miss Jennings?
I can, yeah.
So the rice is perfectly done.
And we've got delicious cilantro rice.
We have our can of black beans here, and I've already opened them. I'm going to put them into the strainer. You can also use a colander. And just like we did with the rice, we're going to rinse them heavily until the water runs completely clear. And all the little brown preservation liquid is running out. And once I'm finished with this, I'm going to dump them right into the pan with just a little bit of water.
So we can heat them up. The last bits of my chicken are finished, nice and golden brown, even with that red paprika coating. So I'm going to turn off the burner. Go ahead and get that chicken out of the pan, kind of onto my plate here. And then you'll notice, Mr. Jennings, if you could zoom in on the cast iron, that we've got all these little fried bits in here. We're going to use that cast iron again to fry our plantains or our bananas. So I'm going to go ahead and do what's called deglazing the pan. So this is just plain water going in there while it's still hot. And it's going to loosen up all of those bits so that they will come right up, and then I'll be able to dump this out, wipe out my pan, and then start with fresh oil and be ready to fry my bananas/plantains. Fortunately, we could not get plantains in our area, but if you maybe have a family member who works in Louisville or at Fort Knox, you might be able to get them there. A ripe plantain is actually mostly brown. It looks kind of undesirable, but that's how you want them. It's a starchy, kind of like a cross between a potato and a banana, if you can imagine what that tastes like. Huge staple in Central and South American cuisine, and in Mexico as well. So we did the best we could with green bananas, and we're going to fry those to go with our chicken casado. So to slice them on a bias, that just means doing it on a slant so that they have extra surface area for frying. So we're going to just slice them like this so there's plenty of flat space for them to be in contact with our skillet. So there it is right there, sliced on a bias. So I'm going to finish slicing these. I've got my skillet on medium heat, and then I'll add my oil and start frying these up. I'll put them in the pan and then top them with a little salt. So here we go with our fried plantain/banana. Gonna set these in the oil, get a nice little sizzle going. And then once I get a few of these in the pan, we don't want to crowd the pan, kind of like with the chicken. We don't want to be right on top of each other. And I'll just top them with a little salt, flip them after about, I'm guessing about 1.5 minutes on each side for the bananas. With actual plantains, you probably want to go about 3 minutes on the first side and then 2 to 3 minutes on the second side. The bananas have been in for about 2 minutes. They're a little bit sticky, so I'm having to use a little flat spatula, but flip them over. And they're getting that nice golden brown. Unfortunately, the bananas also get a little bit mushy, which plantains themselves would not do because they've got a lot more starch in them. So you just want to make sure you don't over fry these, otherwise they'll turn into banana mush. But they're turning nice and gold, and I'd say these bananas are going to work out just fine. If you'd like to give avocado a try with your casado, it's definitely a little more authentic. I will be honest with you, avocados right now, I think they're picking them a little too early because of the COVID shipping delay, so I'm not sure this will be a great one. But it's been ripening on the counter for a while, and it's semi-soft. So you're going to stick your knife in at the top where you have this little cap, this little stem. Take your knife all the way around. Yeah, this one's not super ripe, unfortunately.
And we've had that for over a week.
Yeah. And then give it a little twist, and you'll have your avocado inside. Usually when it's good and ripe, the seed does not stick like this. We probably won't eat this one because it's a little too firm. But then once you get the seed out, I'll just demonstrate that for you. Kind of stick it like this and twist it out. Again, since it's not super ripe, it's being a little bit stubborn. Wow. But it usually just twists right out, and then you can scoop it out with a spoon on the skin. There's how you peel an avocado.
Okay, we have assembled the plate. Here's what it looks like all together. Well, this is tough to do. So we have avocado on the side. We have sour cream, lime, our plantains, aka bananas, our pico de gallo, which is what we made before we started the cooking demonstration. Then we have everything all together. We have the rice on the lettuce on the bottom, the greens, followed by the rice, then the beans, and then the chicken. Okay, I'm going to take a bite.
How's it taste? I'm so excited.
Oh my gosh, it's outstanding.
Yes. Wait, let's see how those fried bananas turned out.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit wondering about those. Not a plantain, but we made the best of it.
But nice and golden brown. And it's so sweet. It's like a dessert on top of dinner.
Oh, we love that.
Enjoy, guys. Have a great week.
Adios.